Morning again. Welcome to the commerce class. Today we have a chat about Google Analytics and we will focus on a couple of things. So first of all, I want to showcase two things. One of them is how to double check if your Google Analytics is properly installed. Um, if that is okay, then we'll proceed to the phase two, which is analyzing data with the help of Google Analytics. So we'll go through some basic things that Google Analytics will help you understand slightly better. This is a 2-day class. So today we will focus on the basics and the let's say the common sense, common things of Google Analytics. Next week we focus on the advanced Google Analytics. So let's start from very beginning. Let's go to the sites like ism.lt and simply let's check if Google Analytics is even installed on the site. So how do you do that? There's an extension provided by Google, which is called Google Tag Assistant. And in order to double check if Google tags, the thing that it does, it double checks if Google tags are properly installed on the site. It will not showcase anything related to Facebook or any other trackers, but it will showcase the Google tags. So in order to learn if Facebook Pixel is properly installed, you need Facebook Pixel Helper. That's another extension. We'll talk about that, in another class, or if I'm not mistaken, we have covered that also in one of our previous classes. So let's get back to Google Tag Assistant. We have to click Enable, then simply restart it, and then we will see that there are a couple of Google tags which are fired. One of them is Google Ads Remarketing tag. That is nice to know, nice to hear. Second tag is Google Analytics tag, and the third one is Google Tag Manager. So it might be that Google Analytics is installed directly. It might be that it's installed through Google Tag Manager. Fact is that it's present and it's recording this session. So if I first of all change my language to English and go to some of the sections, like the one somewhere here, about ISM funds, I will learn something right here. I don't know why it's in Lithuanian, even though I chose the English version. Maybe it's not available in English. Let's try Career Center, and yeah, that's okay. It's in English. So when I browse through the web for a website, Google Analytics, which has fired, is triggering and sending basically events and all the information back to servers. So what kind of information can we get when we have access to Google Analytics account? Or at the very beginning, how do we even install Google Analytics account, Google Analytics to our site? The easiest way is to do that through admin section of Google Analytics. Simply click here and go to admin section. Find the property that you want, data to start collect, to be. Find the property in which one you want to collect data from the website and get the tracking code. This is the tracking code for Google Analytics. All you need to do is simply copy it, go to your website and make sure that it's pasted on every single page. That's it. If you have Google Tag Manager, or if you have some plugins which simply make your life easier and allow you to bypass the back end of the website, you can simply copy the tracking ID, which is this one, and install it through Google Tag Manager or through plugins such as Google Sitekit or some other ones directly to your website, and have the same information available on Google Analytics. Everything is very, very simple. So to start from scratch, what kind of data is available for you when you come to the sites in real time, or just if you want to analyze the website data. Google Analytics provides you real-time data, things that happen real time on your website. It provides you the list, the information about the audiences, and this section is more important than you might imagine because it provides you insights on what kind of parameters do people that come to your site sustain, and what kind of information we can combine and collect about them, and maybe we can even reuse that. Ideally, we should reuse that for our marketing campaigns. So the audience section provides info about your visitors. Acquisition provides information about which channels the visitors came from. Also very simple, and this is exactly what you can collect. You can learn from which channels they came, how some campaigns, e.g. Google Ads campaigns, performed, from which SEO keywords your clients came, what happened from when people came from social media accounts, what happened when somebody came from campaigns. What are campaigns? Campaigns basically any kind of activity that you have, any kind of marketing activity, digital marketing activity that you have online, such as email marketing, such as social media campaigns. You should tag it with UTMs, and if you tag it properly, everything will be displayed, like the campaign, the source, medium, all the elements that you tagged through the URL builder. Later on, I will show you at the end of the class how to use Google URL builder, and how to basically set up your campaigns using the URL builder. So in the campaigns, you can learn insights about how certain campaigns behaved. Then there's behavior section, which allows us to understand how certain elements of the site behaved, like which pages people actually visited most, if your site is slow or speedy, what people searched on your website, which events were triggered when somebody came to your site and clicked, mainly because majority of events usually occur when things are being clicked on your site. It depends, of course, how you push the events, but at least from our case, when we use events, we mainly use that to track button clicks and form submissions, email clicks and email link clicks, phone number clicks, so such elements. Then you can also learn about publisher elements, experiments, and we will dig deeper a little bit into conversions and especially the such elements such as multi-channel funnels and goals, which are mega essential. So um, at the also at the end of the class, I will provide you with a couple of examples of uh, setting up, like, the right way of setting up the goals, because there are four types of goals. The one time is, one type is time on site based goals. Second type is pages per session type goal. Then there's event based goal, and then there's the URL based goal. So what's the difference between them? We'll learn at the end of the class. So that's sort of the quick overview, what we will discuss, and let's dig deeper into Google Analytics. So the first dashboard which we have is real-time analytics. What does it show? Real-time analytics shows us how many people are actively now on our website, and it also shows us which pages they are currently on, and of course locations where the people mainly are coming from. So in this particular case, we see that top locations happen in India. This is the Google Merchandise Store demo account, and this account is mainly used for the training purposes worldwide. It's not just an account which we have at ISM or somebody has at States. It's globally accessible. The way to find this account is just type in Google demo account, and you'll see that this is the Google Analytics demo account. Scroll back, so not back, scroll down, and there's going to be a link to access demo account. So when you click on this button, it will add Google Analytics demo account to your analytics account, and you will have access, read-only access to that account. You will not be able to do any changes, but you will be able to see all the same stats that I see here, and you will be able to go through all the same elements that we are going here, with you. This is very important, because if you want to learn to use Google Analytics, the easiest way to do that is to learn by actually analyzing data. And it's really tough to analyze 5 people on your site. It's much more interesting to actually analyze the real numbers with real data currently happening live. So with real-time analytics, we also can see where exactly the people are coming from. So we know that majority, or 90% of the 87% of people actually come from India now, or currently are, from India. Then some of them are from SACE. There's somebody from Canada, Sweden, United Kingdom, and is there anybody from Lithuania? Let's just check. That's fun. That's interesting. Okay, so we should go to the merchandise Google. Let's make sure that somebody comes also from Lithuania. Awesome. We have one event. One person is actually now from Lithuania. That is very nice. We see that real-time analytics works, and that it really displays information regarding people coming to your site. Now, if we will go to traffic sources, we'll see that all of these people came from source medium, which is non-direct. So that is interesting because it's sort of displaying that these people came directly to website, even though, at least in our case, we actually came from Google and organic, because that is how it happened. I went to Google. Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay. I went to Google, which is here. Very good. And then I typed in merchandise store Google. These were Google results. I clicked on it, and okay. So the shop merchandisestore.com, it redirects and simply makes all the links direct. Not really smart, but I mean, it's up to Google. If they want to do it that way, it's up to them. So we can see the traffic sources, or from where people actually came to our site, not locations, but traffic sources. I will show you how to create the UTMs, so that these are being displayed here properly. Then there's the content section, which tells us where these people actually are now. And let's go to location. And with the location element, let's click on Lithuania, uh, and let's leave it like this. So what I just did, I added a filter. I added a filter to filter out everything that is not Lithuania. So if we'll go to content, now it will display us where somebody from Lithuania is actually being, right. So where they are. Let's close that element. Let's go to eco-friendly section. Click on something, and we will see that this is exactly what is being displayed. Eco-friendly Google Merchandise Store. This is the page title that I am on at this point. Very, very convenient way to learn what exactly people are visiting when they visit your site. So if you want to know right away what people are visiting when they visit your site, you can do that by going to real-time content, and it will be displayed which pages people are on. Second thing are events. So we can leave Lithuania, or let's just let it be. So we see that there are some interesting elements. Let's see. The event category is enhanced e-commerce here, and this is the contact us. So for me, this is a sign that these are the elements that somebody is actually tracking. So when somebody clicks on the product, like here, maybe this is these things are happening. So the product clicks are happening, and we can see we cannot see through the label. Like, we can see in behavior and events what are the labels of the products that were clicked, but right here within the real-time analytics, we can see only the category and the action which is being clicked. But despite that, we can also see that when somebody clicks add to cart, the event fires. So let's go back to locations. Let us make sure that we filter Lithuania. Let's go back to events, and you see that this is like the quick queue click. When I click on the button, let's say view product, let's see what happens. Okay. Yeah, so the product click actually happened. That's exactly what I was expecting. And let's make sure to trigger. Let's trigger the add to cart button as well. So let's click add to cart, and when we do that, the another blue arrow will pop, and soon, and then this is gonna something gonna be related to add to cart. Continue shopping. Let's go back to, once again, eco-friendly, and let's click add to cart. Choose size, small, medium. Awesome. I just clicked add to cart, and we see that the blue element it was active. Let us check. That's interesting that add to cart isn't displayed. So that's sometimes the latency or the lag happening. Let's go to shopping cart and see what will be displayed then. Maybe Google is not really checking, like, free events, the shopping cart. But well, anyway, it's up to them. Then let us go to conversions. And what exactly are conversions in real time? That's a very interesting scenario. So somehow Google is calling goals as goals in all the other sections. Like, for example, here we go to conversions and you see goals, and if you go to admin section, you also see goals. So Google is not really mentioning conversions anywhere nearby, but in real-time analytics, these things like the conversions are actually goals. So you see that there are 3 goals: registrations, purchase completed, and somebody entered checkout. So if we go to admin section and goals, we will see that there are 4 events. So the registration, purchase completed, and enter checkout. These events are destination based, and this is the element which I was talking about, the page per screens per session, engaged users. If we will go deeper, and we'll see that Google is calling people that visited at least sorry, not at least, but more than 10 pages per session, engaged users. So for them, this is the engaged customer. Maybe I still do not qualify, like, as an engaged customer, but anyhow, this is something that they are measuring and checking. Let us try and view some pages to make sure that we view more than 10. View product, then what's on sale, view product. Okay. Cool hits. Yeah, so basically they just are not displaying the fourth goal, but these 3 goals they're displayed, and Google is recording them. So if we go to so that's sort of in the nutshell the basics of what exactly real-time analytics is, sort of capable of tracking. It displays how many active users are currently on the site. That's number one. Second thing that it does, it also displays the locations where people physically come from, to the site. Then it displays traffic sources, like from which URLs came to your site. If they came to the site from such websites like New York Times, if they came from Google campaigns, if they came from Facebook campaigns, or etc. Then it displays pages which are currently, open. Displays events which also have triggered, and it displays goals which which have happened in recent minutes. So this is what Google Analytics provides you in real time. Let's go to other elements such as the audience section, and this is the interesting part. So it can tell you a couple of fun facts. One of them is, for example, about the active users. So Google can tell you how many people have been active, like, on your site one day, if they are, like, 7-day, 14-day active users, or even more. So that's a little bit useful. Then from my side, what I usually dig into is the element about the demographics. So this section, in many cases, is disabled or marked that you need to turn it on. So if that's a new page, you need to click the button enable, and you need to enable the demographics elements. What does it give you? It tells you where people, like, not where people, but how old or what gender is the people that actually come to your site. So here we see that majority of the customers are 25 to 34. They are also, majority of them are male, 65%. And in a nutshell, that's sort of it. So something that's you might be interested in. Let's increase the range to make sure that the numbers are still correct. Let us take 2 months, and yeah, it doesn't really change that much. Like, the percentage stays the same. The percentage of 18 to 24 slightly increased. So overall, we might say that majority of people are from, let's say, 18 to 44. It will be about 25 plus 40, so 65, roughly about 75% of total visitors are from 18 to 44 to this website. Why does it matter? Like, honestly, I would not really care how old people are, when they come to my site, if I didn't have the transactions and conversion rates. So here I see the numbers, the age, and the conversion rates. I see that, look, in that amount, in that period of time, there were 19 conversions, 19 transactions happening. The revenue is $1,000, and the average conversion rate is 0.04. So which age group should you focus on? Because if you go to the overview section, it would seem that 25 to 34 is the ideal audience, because there's most of it, and males, right? So 25, 34 males are the people that you probably focus on. But let's get real, and let's find out, if this audience is really the best. So how do we know if one audience is better than the other? e-commerce conversion rates help you find out that really well. What is e-commerce conversion rate? So that is a percentage that people, like a percentage of people that came to your site and actually made something valuable to your site. So in this, to your business. So in this particular scenario, e-commerce conversion rates stands for the percentage of transactions, from the total of visitors. So we have um, total 34,000 users and 19 transactions. We have 0.11% conversion rate or free transactions. For the audience 55 to 64, then we have 0.06 conversion rate or free transactions. For the audience 45 to 54, then 0.05 or 9 conversions. For the audience 25 to 34, then 35 44, and then the 18 to 24 is only 1 conversion, and the conversion rate is less than 0.01%. In other words, if somebody who's 18 to 24 comes to your site, they do not buy, because out of 11,500 sessions that came from that age group, only 1 transaction happened. This is less than, I would say that this is less than 0, but it's a little bit more than 0, only a little bit. So my initial, feeling that I had, that we should focus on these two probably age groups, was wrong, and that's a good thing, because this is the way hypotheses work. You take a presumption, you check it and validate it, and then if that is true or false. So now I know that my intention, to bring more people which are 25 to 34. Let me double check again the conversion rates. Yeah, okay, so 25 to 34. So like in totals, 9 conversions are okay, but 0.05, that's kind of low, because it's like nearly as much as the average, and the average is not really not that good. So in total, the conversion rates here are really low, but with these numbers, that's like even sadder. So if somebody was asked me now what kind of audience, if age matters, so what kind of audience we should bring to the site, my initial response now would be 55 to 64. Second question regarding the gender. So do you think male or female should be brought to the website? I don't know. Let us figure out. So when we go to the gender section, we can also know that roughly the conversion rates are very similar. So 0.04, 0.05. So there's nothing really that significant, regarding conversion rates. Simply the totals are bigger here, but that's it. So I would say that age matters more in this particular scenario than gender. So gender here doesn't really matter. Let's dig deeper into more other things that audience bring us. So in the overview section, we can also find out which interest do people follow that that come to our site. How does Google know all these things? So no, sorry. Ad settings, Google. Okay, so in order to find out the ad settings These so Google knows a lot of things about you. And if you go to uh, Google ad settings, to do that, you just type in ad settings Google, and that's it. And you will go to ad settings. Here, Google knows that, basically when somebody targets me using Google Ads, they know that I belong to the age group 35 to 44, that I'm a male. I'm interested in ideal SEO, eBay, Android apps, iOS, babies and toddlers, bathrooms, business services, camera lenses, and all the other things. So there are many, many, many things that at Hyundai. I was browsing Hyundai on YouTube several weeks ago. That is interesting to spot that as well. So Google knows a lot about each and every one of us. It knows that I'm married. It knows that I'm interested in marketing. It knows that I'm interested in restaurants. Well, that makes sense because people do need to eat. It knows that I'm interested in social networks and other things. So many 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 things that Google knows about me, and you can go to Google Ad settings and learn what exactly Google knows about you. So when Google knows all these things and you visit certain websites such as this one, like the Google Merchandise Store, Google collects that data, and it assigns certain you to certain elements, like if you're a shopper, if you're a media and entertainment enthusiast or movie lover, maybe you are interested in technology, etc etc etc. So why does all of this matter? It matters because Google makes sure that, like, um, by coming to this section, like, interest overview, you can learn what exactly people are interested in that come to your site. We might presume that if I am browsing, like, food options, or if I'm browsing cars, maybe that's all that matters to me, but that's wrong approach. Sorry, but that's a wrong approach. Majority of people that come to your site, they care about many things, and yours is just one of them. So maybe in the morning, I might care about actually going to the office on time. Maybe during the office hours, I care about happy teammates and successful business. Maybe during lunch hours, I care about where to eat. Then on the way back, I might care about maybe a new car, or maybe traffic jams, or maybe a new TV show on Netflix. So all these elements are different, throughout the whole day. And if you only target somebody who is interested in dental care, and that's it, you might lose out on many more potential customers that might want to learn more about your business, even though maybe dental services is not on top of their mind. So by going to these affinity categories or in market segments, you can learn more about which interests perform better when people actually come to your site. How do we know if how do we know if certain interests actually perform better than others? So let us go to the affinity categories and check it out. Here we will see that in that period of time we had about 22 transactions, and of course, let's go to the conversion rate. We will see that like, so first of all, first rule that I see and I don't like is that, like in some cases, these we have, in the sections where we have about 39,000 users in total, we have, on top of everything, something like 400 visitors. So that's a bit too little. So to make it, usually I use, usually my rule of thumb is 1%. So that would be 3,000, sorry, not 3,000, 300, at least 300. And let's make it that. Let us have this, 390 as the filter for session. Sorry, let's make it 540 as a filter for the sessions, so that everything that is lower is not really included and it doesn't spoil the data. So how do we do that filter? We see the sessions, 53,700. Let's go to advanced, click on include sessions or users. Let's go to users, and 1% would be 391. Let's click apply. Now we have way better numbers, and the data we see is not really spoiled that much. So the best performing audience is media, entertainment, gamers and driving and racing game fans. That's interesting. So basically, out of 22 conversions, 3 conversions happened, from gamers which are interested in driving games or racing games, and the conversion rate is 0.55. So that means that if you compare that number to our e-commerce average conversion rate, which is 0.05, it is roughly 10 times better than something that came, to our site before. That is interesting. So 10 times better data, not data, 10 times better results, and all that simply because we learned that this audience might be performing, more efficiently. Same things here. Drama fans also perform better. Strategy game fans also perform better. So roughly, what I would do, I would select these top 5 audiences, and I would create a separate Google Display Network affinity campaign to attract these customers to our site. Why? Because I see that people that possess these affinity category elements, they tend to convert better than people that don't. So that is very useful. Let us go to the end market segments and see what people actually care as well about when they come to our site. So 16 conversions, and let's see which convert best. Once again, e-commerce conversion rate from highest to lowest. The problem here is that if we had in the beginning numbers like 500 and etc., so here we see audience size of 14. So this is really nothing super fancy, and I would not really trust data of 14 people. So what I will do, again, I will do the filter, include users, 319. Why 319? Because I use the 1% rule, that doesn't matter, based on how big the sample size is, we should filter out everything that doesn't contain at least 1% of total population. So if the audience segments are less than 1% of audience segments, they give total population, then maybe they are insignificant, even if the numbers might look nice or promising. So now we have the same things. Like we have some conversion rates like 0.59 and 0.50 from autos and vehicles and home and garden appliances and people who are interested in refrigerators. Once again, I would do the same thing. I would create a new audience, not audience, but I would create a new campaign for the market, and I would run, these audiences for banner campaigns, making sure to bring in additional new traffic to our site. And if you go to the other sections, we can also learn about the language that people that come to our site speak. So that's usually English, and location where they come from. So we will notice that a majority of transactions, like 117, happen from United States. And even though now it seems like today everybody's from India, go to real-time data. It doesn't matter because people from India in the last several months made zero purchases on this website, which means that maybe the people that are coming from India are coming from universities, just like our case. They come and see if they will spot themselves on Google Analytics. So then several conversions from Canada, 0 from United Kingdom, 1 from Japan, also insignificant. Anyhow, we can go, also citywide, and learn which cities convert best. So let us check that, and we'll see that from according to our e-commerce conversion rate, the same rule. You see 222, 1, 4, just two little numbers, and let's just ignore them. So everything that's gonna be less than 800 users, let us exclude that. Include users at least 800. Let's click apply. And now we see that we see that the conversion rate is highest from San Francisco, then from Chicago, New York, San Jose, Sunnyvale, and etc. So if I would choose cities to target, I would start from those top 4, like San Francisco, Chicago, New York, and San Jose. Maybe even top 3, because the conversion rate of San Jose is lower than our average conversion rate, so that's not a really good number. So our average is 0.10. These two have really nice conversion rates. This one is better than average, but that one disappoints me. So let's target San Francisco and Chicago, or San Francisco, Chicago, and New York. You see how much interesting data we find simply by digging into Google Analytics. That is magical. So really interesting how everything can be analyzed. So let's go into the behavior of Google Analytics. We see that we can also make a comparison and check. We can also make a comparison if new visitors or returning visitors are converting better. So in this particular scenario, I will see that the e-commerce conversion rate is, of course, higher for returning visitors, which is 0.12, And for new visitors, that's only 0.09. I mean, it's a good one. It's like, it's around at the average, but returning visitors are converting better. So that's good to know. It means that maybe remarketing works if Google is doing any remarketing campaigns. Then, but you do understand why returning visitors convert better. The key factor here is that people don't really make a decision. Like, they do make a decision sometimes spontaneously, but in most of the cases, it takes them a couple of touch points to finalize the decision. So here we can have a very clear example how we have less, like 82% of people are new visitors, but they sustain only, like, 62 around 65% of total conversions. And here we have only 17% of total visitors which are new, like, returning visitors, but they account for 34% of total transactions. So it means that the returning visitors are roughly twice as efficient than new visitors, and not twice, 50%, because the 9% conversion rate and 12%, 0.12% conversion rate. So about 50% more efficient are the returning visitors. What's next? So we can also see that majority of people that came to our site, they came and left. So count of session 1 contains 82,000 sessions out of 116,000. So majority of people, they come and simply leave, and that's it. So what might probably interest you is if somebody converted. So let us make a segment, and I think in one of our classes before that, one group already showed what exactly segments are and how they work. So let's transactions per section, more or equal, to 1. So not person, yeah, person, okay. Include users. So this will be more efficient. So let us see how the actual converters behaved. Okay, so now we see that if we take a look at the actual those 273 conversions, around 105 occurred, when people came first time. About 55 happened when people came twice, 28 when they came 3 times, 21 when they came 4 times, etc., 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 and about 22 conversions happened when people came 9 to 14 times before the actual purchase. So this means that people, as I said before, they do not make a spontaneous, they do make sometimes spontaneous decisions, but in many cases they do not. So let us remove the segment so that it doesn't ruin the data. We can also check here that the yeah, okay, so let's just remove that segment and see what we have. So about half of the people that came to our site spent 0 to 10 seconds and left. That's it. Then we had about then Then we had about 10,000 sessions, which happened, which were from 11 to 30 seconds, and etc. So roughly, the more people, one of the reasons why we've seen in Google Analytics goals here by Google, a goal created, which they call engage users, and that goal happens when people visit 10 or more, more than 10 pages or screens per session, is because Google wants to make sure that you know people engage, because the more people engage with your content, the more it's likely that they will uh, make the final decision in purchasing something from you. So what else matters? One of the things that matters is the device. So we also can see that as we've seen, the average conversion rate is 0.1, but from mobile, the average conversion rate is 0.28. This is huge in comparison to totals, and especially huge to this desktop, which looks like rubbish because here 71% of people came from desktop, only 26% came from mobile, but 61% conversions happened on mobile and 25 happened on desktop, which means that people from mobile here are around 8 to 10 times more valuable than people from desktop. Simple as that. And this is very interesting because now we see that, look, we let's just sort of summarize what we've just analyzed by going through the audiences. So we found out, we had a presumption, I had a presumption that 18 to 25 and maybe 25 to 35 will convert better. Google Analytics just showed us that age group from sort of 44 plus converts best. That's interesting. Second thing that Google also showed is that uh, at least for their shop, gender doesn't matter. Then we learned that mobile customers, people that come from mobile devices, are roughly 10 times more, or sort of 8 to 10 times more valuable, than people that come from desktop, because the conversion rate here is just 0.03 and here is 0.28. And let us check the devices where these mobile devices actually, which mobile devices actually are valuable. And this is boom, wow. um, Take in mind, this is a Google merchandise store. Google merchandise store, not an Apple merchandise store. And out of 87 conversions that happened on mobile devices, 87 conversions happened on iOS. 0.72, 0.76. Wow. And let us check the operating system. We can do that by scrolling, not scrolling, but moving to this section, to this primary dimensions. We can simply change our primary dimension from mobile device info to operating system, and let us dig deeper according by the operating system. So Android 58%, iOS 41% total users. Android 0 transactions, iOS 87 transactions, 0.71% conversion rate. If I was responsible for the ads, I would not advertise on Android phones, for these products, because all the purchases made were made on iOS. Simple as that. That's very interesting. And once again, this is not an Apple merchandise store. This is a Google merchandise store. Cool. Okay, so let us check the. Okay, so we have some missing permissions which we cannot check. That is okay. Let us skip that. Let us go to. Sorry. Let us go to benchmarks and see the channels. Like how, for example, the channels perform in our case. So what is Google doing here? It is according to what we provided here in the property sections. And we see that in the property sections that industry category is shopping, right? You see shopping. This is shopping industry category. So according to this industry category, Google is benchmarking all the websites which belong to the same category, and it will tell us how we perform in comparison to other shopping websites. So it will tell us that, look, our direct visitors are better, our bounce rate is also lower, which is good. Our sessions from referral are greater. We miss organic search, which is poor. We miss social media, which is also poor. We also miss paid search ads and email marketing campaigns. Of course, probably Google is not really advertising too much here, but if they wanted to improve, what they should do, they should work on SEO. This is one thing, because it's too low. They should probably run some social media campaigns, maybe something on Facebook. Of course, work on paid ads, like Google Ads, and focus on email marketing, because now we have 0 people coming from email campaigns in comparison to what would be the average, calculating all the sessions and the size of this eShop to other websites. But that's an interesting, anyway, that's an interesting benchmark. You can always check that and learn more about how people behave when they come to your site. So this is it with the audience section, and let's dig into the acquisition tab. Here, under the over section, we will see something which is called the default channel grouping, and here we can change some things ourselves if we want to. For example, we see that this is the direct, organic search, referral, other. If we click to other, we will learn where these people actually came. So let's say partners, something came from source which is called partners. Doesn't matter that much. Let's go back. Thing important is that if you want, you can change this default channel grouping yourself, so you can reorder them. Like, let's say here we see that top source mediums. This is an example of some primary dimension and some channel grouping, but let us try and edit the default channel grouping if we'll be allowed to do that. Let's go back to the acquisition. Might be that we'll miss permissions. So let's go back here again and see if we are allowed. Nope. Okay. No worries. So what default channel grouping does, it tells that some channels belong to some channel groups, and in a nutshell, that's it. So let's say it can say you can reorder and say that if somebody comes from like one of the key mistakes usually with analytics accounts is that if anything has the medium CPC, um, Google assigns that to Google paid ads. And that's wrong because many advertisers use Facebook CPC, like Facebook as source and CPC as a medium. So then all this Facebook CPC goes under paid ads in the default channel grouping. And and that's like even like paid search, and that's not really good. So what we usually will fix, we go to default channel grouping and we say that in paid search you should always exclude everything that's with source Facebook, and then we create a new channel group calling and we call it Facebook ads, and we simply say that everything that is, let's say, with source contains Facebook and medium contains CPC, that is Facebook ads, and then we use that channel grouping, to display the data. What else? In all traffic, you can go either to channels, stream apps, or source medium. This is probably the top favorite destination element of many advertisers. Um, you always want to learn where are these magic conversions coming from. So here we see that out of the 117 conversions, the conversion rate highest is from DuckDuckGo organic, but once again, only 51, users. Not really that valuable. So what I would do, and yeah, of course, Google CPC as well. 162 people came, one conversion rate is 0.535, but the total here is just too low. So what I will do again, I will create a filter like in all other scenarios where I will just include users greater than 800 and apply. And I will see that the highest conversion rates are from Google Organic, direct, and not set, and then from some analytics referral. Okay, no more transactions. So basically these two are the valuable ones. So either direct or Google Organic. How is Google Ads performing? Let's figure out. Let's go to campaigns. And here we'll see that there has been one transaction, and it happened, when 24 people came from that campaign. And let's check through which keyword they came. So the keyword was Google Merchandise Store. So when somebody was Googling Google Merchandise Store, Google was displayed, Google Ads were displayed. We had 55 sessions, 22 users, and one person actually made a purchase. So, I wouldn't really call that, that is called the branded keyword. So Google Merchandise Store here is the branded keyword. Why? Because simply this is the Google Merchandise Store. So this is the branded keyword, and you can learn, and that's of course a valuable thing. But for me, it would be more valuable to learn which non-branded keywords brought the conversions, because then I could optimize maybe the site to deliver more of the content to those people that come through those non-branded keywords which convert. What else? In Google search queries, we'll see that our site is also displayed mainly according to the Google branded keywords. My honest tip would be to sort of ignore Google search queries in sorry, it's the other thing. Yeah, it's okay. It's the Google search queries from Google Ads. I was thinking about the Google Search Console. So if we take a look at the Google Search Console, and we go here into queries, we have a lot of clicks, and it will tell us which queries displayed our website. But this is not too valuable because it doesn't provide you all the relevant data. Like if you want to have all these search queries which showed your website, you should just simply go to Google Search Console. And to do that, as a very simple way, simply type it in, click on Google Search Console, make sure that you have access to Google Analytics, link it with Google Search Console, and you will start seeing all the keywords, impressions, clicks. You will not have the conversions, but at least you will know which impressions and which landing pages um, were displayed on which position to how many people, and how these numbers change through time. Uh, then campaigns. Let's go to all campaigns. And here we see that this is the data share promo, which I think that Google is just doing some kind of data share promo. And then this is the branded campaigns, like AdWords, Google Brand US and Google Brand California. So yeah, these are the campaigns. If that was a normal store, like in Lithuania, let's say Pigut, Telia, Bita, Teladu, etc., Varlea, and all the others, or like roughly saying Amazon, you would see that there are plenty of campaigns here, and you would know which campaigns performed better, performed worse, because you would have conversion rates and you would be able to compare them. Here, nothing really too much to compare. A little bit sad. Then we can go to behavior. Sorry, let's close the acquisition. Let's go to behavior. And here we can see the top performing pages, like which pages had the most page views, and also based on the revenue which happens on the site, we see also the page value. So let's say sort of like Google Analytics is doing a very simple math. It knows how many conversions happened on your site, and it knows what particularly, like, which pages were visited by people that made purchases. So it assigns conversions, or page value to these websites. And in other words, look, if somebody goes to order completed, then the page value is $50. Why? Because probably this is the average basket value, on that site. So that's an interesting thing to know, that you can also see which pages are valuable and which are not, and how valuable they are. Then you can learn through, let's say, landing pages, where people came to your site. And it's no wonder that majority of people came to home section. And probably, like, if you're also interested in the conversion rates, you can see which conversion rates were the best. So here, let's apply the same rule. We have 117,000, so let's make sure to have 1,000 people for 1%. So filter sessions now greater than 1,000. Apply. So we see that these are the most valuable landing pages. Google redesign apparel, because if somebody comes here to this landing page, they have the 33% conversion rate, and the average conversion rate is 0.10. So this is a more valuable landing page than probably others. Same thing can be also analyzed, through the exit pages, but honestly, exit page in many cases home, and this is the same scenario in, like, I don't know, 9 out of 10 of websites. Like, look, let's go to this merchandise store, and so we came to the site, right? Google merchandise store, and many people do like this. They go for something, click on something, and somehow there's this, I don't know, reasoning, but they click on this logo, go home, sort of go to homepage, and then they leave. Try to capture yourself, but you will notice that this is very common for people to do. It's just like, going to Google, even if that's your homepage, and still typing in Google, which just displays the same. So some people do that. Even I just did, like, before the class. So that is a weird example, but you will catch, some people doing that. So they will click on, like, they will go to APG Media website. They will go to services section, something like that. Then they will click on home, and they will close. That's it. So sort of a very maybe that's an intuitive way of actually behaving online. So few more things. Events. What exactly are events, and how do they work? So when some things are clicked on your website, clicked, triggered, etc., events trigger. Event is something that is being pushed to Google Analytics, either directly from the code or through Google Tag Manager. So in our particular case, this is an event. When somebody clicks, contact us, this is an event. When somebody clicks, e-commerce book, by the way, this is a free e-commerce book. You can get it for free. This is an event. And if we go to Google Merchandise Store, the same thing happens, I think, here. Like, this should be an event. Shop now. We've seen events, like, when somebody goes to view product section and actually views the product, Google sends this info as an event. And to learn more about event action and labels, we can do by going simply into event actions. And we see that, look, this is the quick view, add to cart, product click, remove from cart. And so let's say quick view and add to cart. Where is that? So let's just close this. So add to cart. I just added the product to cart. I went to shopper cart. So this, I just added the product. And if I don't want to buy the product, I click on this button and I just removed something. So now the remove from cart event is also displayed. You might notice that the event remove from cart exists, but if we go into goals, we will not see, removed the product as a goal. Why? Because honestly, this is not a goal. This is a bad thing. Like, when somebody removes a product from your cart, this is bad for your business. So I'm not aiming to it's like It's like when somebody leaves your site or your shop. Like you want people to stay in your site, you want people to buy things from you. So it's more beneficial, to track things that help your business than do damage to it. So you can track as events things, all things that happen on your site, but not everything is valuable for your business. So therefore, remove from cart is not a conversion; it's just an event, right? What I'm interested in is on-site click. So let us try to figure out what kind of on-site clicks they trigger. So email, phone. Okay, so let's go back. And so when I will click, let's just go to real-time analytics, events. I think that's, yeah, organic install. Let's check if this on-site click will trigger. So this is the phone number. Okay. And I'm just like waiting to see if anything happens. Huh. Nothing. And what about email us? So maybe these numbers attract somewhere else. Okay, never mind. So sort of that's it with the events. So when somebody clicks on the elements, on your site, they are tracked, and this can be tracked through events. At least that's the easiest way for me. What else? Conversions and goals. So we have about 5 minutes left. So as I said, there are 4 types of goals happening on website. 4 types of possible goals happening on Google Analytics. One of them is the time-based, like how much time people actually spend. According to my opinion, that's a useless stat because look, if I go to our traffic, source medium, and I see that average session duration is 2 minutes 55. Honestly, who cares that there will be that people will spend 5 minutes on my site? I don't care about those 5 minutes. I care about transactions. So I can check. I can sort of keep analyzing that and measuring, but in the long term, this is not really too beneficial. Second thing that I can also measure is pages per session. So here's 4.68 is the average. I can say that the goal is 6 pages per session. But once again, if this doesn't increase the conversions, then that's a useless stat. So maybe instead of focusing on the pages per session on average session duration, I should focus on events like here, making sure to have as many as possible add to carts, and people then going to shopping cart because that's actually valuable for my business. And then after that, clicking in on continue to checkout, and maybe creating an account or signing in. So these are events, like valuable things. Or I can also have the URL based URLs based goals. So if, let's say, one of the goals, one of the URLs here is basket.html, I can say that if the URL contains basket, then that might be a conversion, and that's like sort of one of the ways to bypass events. If you cannot push uh, events to the sites, if the developers are too expensive, if they do not do things, so you can always do things yourself. And the easiest way to do that is by URLs. So um, URL based goals can be really easy conversions, and that's just one of the things. The If we will go into conversion section, and we will go into the e-commerce, not e-commerce, but let's go to multi-channel. Where is that? Goals, funnel visualization. Okay, this one. So we see that there's one goal here, which is purchase completed, right? So this funnel contains of several steps. One of them is purchase completed, like 21 conversions. Then there's the review section, and this we have 61 people, which made the conversion, and 40 exited or went to review order or basket or home or payment or something like that, but they did not purchase things. Then we have the payment, and we see that people, they simply, after that, 61 people went to review section, 145 left. Billing and shipping, cart up here. So what is the entrance? So somebody came and added products to cart, and let us see how this works. So I go to eco-friendly, I go here, I add the product. Sorry for that. Click on medium, I click on product, I don't care. I go to shopping cart, and this is my URL where I am now. And some people after the shopping cart, they somehow managed to leave through store, sign in, basket, or exit simply. The others, they go to billing and shipping. So let's check what they are doing then. Shopping cart, continue to checkout. And then I just don't want to create the account. So you go to billing and shipping, then the payment section, review the payment sections, and finally there's the page saying thank you for making the purchase. And we can double check the whole goal funnel here. So we see that this is the purchase completed, and the purchase completed happens when somebody visits order completed HTML. So the first step is when somebody goes to cart, and the cart is basket section. Then second section is billing and shipping. That's your info. So I can go here and see. Okay, so this is the sign in step. So Google sort of removes that section, ignores it. When I sign in, it tells that it asks, it checks, it moves me to your info section, then puts me to the payment section, review order section, and when everything is complete, it's the order complete section. This is sort of it. So this was the very brief introduction to Google Analytics, and we'll proceed with the advanced Google Analytics next week, and see you today in the seminar at I think in about 20 minutes or so. So have a great day, and talk to you soon.